G'day, mate.
What's so good about it?
Oh, not much sleep, eh?
What are you so cheery about? Isn't that new kid of yours driving you nuts? How is the little one and Ruth?
Oh, they're fine, mate. Look, why don't you drop in after work? They'd love to see you.
Yeah, okay, that'd be good. Work, wonderful work. Well, here we go again. I shouldn't be talking to the competition.
Oh, you mean the Great Chocolate War? No, just a bit of healthy rivalry, mate. Hey, look, I'll see you after work, all right?
Okay.
Have a good one.
Oh, sure.
What do each of these situations have in common? They all involve manual handling. Manual handling obviously covers a lot of very different things, and we've seen that it can be done well or badly. But just what is it? Manual handling can be simply defined as any task that involves lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling, and holding. Why is it important? Because 1/3 of all workers' compensation claims involve manual handling injuries. Even though this program shows an industrial setting, when you think about it, manual handling is part of everybody's job. So it's important to learn more about manual handling and about how you can improve both your manual handling skills and your work environment. Both management and workers have a responsibility to ensure correct manual handling. Management must identify, assess and control manual handling risks, while workers, once given the proper equipment and training, must use it. The single most important thing we can do to reduce the chance of a manual handling injury is to improve our posture. Maintaining good posture means keeping the body balanced and operating within its limits. Whether we're standing still, sitting, or exerting some effort in pulling, pushing or lifting, it is essential to be aware of the forces operating on your body. In particular, any movement that twists, bends, or puts a strain on the back should be avoided. Always use correct lifting procedure, with your back held straight and your knees bending to get down to the load. Keep your back as straight as possible at all times. Your head should feel as if it is balanced on top of your spine. Your shoulders should be down and relaxed. Move your whole body around rather than twisting. Your torso should, as far as possible, remain in line with the rest of your body. Beyond what every individual worker can do, there is a recognized way of dealing with manual handling within the whole organization. This involves 3 main steps. 1. Risk identification. 2. Risk assessment. And 3. Risk control. These tasks are often undertaken by safety representatives who report back to the safety committee. We will now look at what's involved in some detail. Risk identification should involve analysing safety records to find where the problem areas are. Specific risks can then be identified by observing workers on the job as they perform particular tasks. using a risk identification checklist will be a great help here. Finally, and most importantly, consulting the workers themselves for their views is essential. Occupational health and safety representatives can pick up feedback from workers and consult them about any changes. Here we can see the safety rep consulting with workers about a proposed redesign of the production line. Changes suggested by workers can increase productivity as well as safety. This has to be good for everyone. So consulting with workers is a critical part of controlling manual handling. Once a high-risk area has been identified, then the specific risk factors need to be assessed. Risk assessment involves considering which factors are contributing to the risk involved in that particular task. Accurate risk assessment calls for the measurement of factors which may include the actions and movements involved in the task, the posture of the worker performing the task, the duration and frequency of the activity, the distance and the time handled, the force applied, the weight, and the nature of the load. A number of more general factors relating to the workplace and work environment should also be considered, including the layout of the workplace, the conditions of the workplace, and the work organisation. Finally, characteristics of the worker themselves, such as their age, skill, and experience, must also be taken into account. Once a particular task has been assessed, the manual handling risk must then be controlled. Perhaps the simplest way is to see whether the task can be completely eliminated. Moving materials in small amounts by hand can often be replaced by handling the same material in bulk and moving it mechanically. The elimination of double handling is an important consideration. Simply by storing material on trolleys, rather than using the trolleys to move it and then taking it off the trolleys and onto shelves, can cut out a great deal of unproductive, potentially hazardous work. Another simple idea is job rotation. Having one person work at, say, 3 different workstations or tasks throughout their shift may significantly reduce their physical and psychological stress. Work layout is another very important area where risks can be controlled. Getting the work at the right height is critical here. So is ensuring that trolleys and workbenches, for example, are at the same height. Modifying the object is another way to control the handling risk. For example, simplifying the steps needed to assemble a component will save time and money too. Modifying the workplace layout and/or rearranging the materials flow should also be considered. If done properly, this can have very worthwhile consequences for both safety and productivity. Similarly, redesigning a job so that different actions and movements are involved will minimize the risk of injury and lead to an easier, more enjoyable task. On a very simple level, modifying who performs the task, for example using team lifting, can be useful when the other options are not available. As we have already seen, the use of mechanical aids of various types, from the simplest to the most complicated, is an important part of manual handling risk control. However, these mechanical aids are not an end in themselves. They need to be used, and training in how to use them is vital.
So, what are you up to then?
I got some more safety equipment for you.
More? What for? We don't use the stuff we've already got.
Don't ask me, mate. I'm just on the safety committee.
On the safety committee. What a cushy job that is.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, you wouldn't think that, mate, if you had to sit through all those endless meetings. I mean, nobody listens to anybody else.
How about listening to us?
What do you mean?
Forget it. It's just a waste of time.
There you go, Happy.
Training really is vital. When people are trained how to use them, mechanical aids can really minimize the handling risks as these two examples show. So, to revise the main points, remember that both management and workers have a role to play in safe manual handling. Remember too the overall importance of good posture and the 3 steps of manual handling. 1. Risk identification. 2. Risk assessment. And 3. Risk control. Risk identification involves the use of safety records, checklists, and consultation with workers. Risk assessment involves the measurement of specific factors involved in particular tasks, including the distance, weight, frequency, and movements involved. Risk control can take many forms, from eliminating tasks to job rotation, modifying the objects handled, modifying the workplace layout, using mechanical aids, or changing the task itself. Whenever risk control is introduced, remember that training is essential to make it work.
I mean, nobody listens to
The message is that you can always do something to improve your job and minimize the health and safety risk. Spend the time and make the effort. It's worth it, and not just at work.
It's great to be going home, mate.
I thought you loved your job.
Oh, come on, knock it off. But it's okay.
It's great to be leaving it all behind.
Well, mate, I suppose we're pretty lucky to have jobs.
Yeah, but for how long?
Well, we're doing okay.
Oh, lucky you. There's rumours going around our place. And I'm not surprised the strife they're in. I mean, the amount of waste at that place. On things like stupid safety equipment.
Well, mate, we had a safety consultation today about redesigning one of the old lines.
A safety consultation. Waste of time and money. What good's it going to do?
Well, come on, it's going to stop a few injuries for starters. And there's some pretty significant productivity improvements. It means job security. And, mate, we're looking after our health.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, come on, you're just a born cynic. You're going to come over tonight and see Ruth and the baby.
I don't think I can make it tonight, mate. I mean, I'd love to, but I've really got to put my feet up.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow then.
Tomorrow? Oh, no.
Hey, mate, you start looking after yourself. I'll see you then.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
As a supplement to the program, we now have available a comprehensive and informative trainer's guide, which is specific to each subject. This powerful aid will enable trainers to utilize the program to its fullest extent.